I never thought a simple conversation could change the way I see my own family forever. But last night, it did. It was a normal evening. I had just finished some work and went to my room to relax. My parents were in the living room watching TV like they usually do after dinner. Everything felt completely normal. Around midnight, I realized I had left my phone in the kitchen. I didn't think much of it, so I quietly stepped out of my room and walked down the hallway. As I got closer to the living room, I heard my parents talking. At first, I didn't really pay attention. But then I heard my name. That made me stop immediately. I wasn't trying to listen to their conversation, but something about the tone in their voices made me pause. They sounded serious, almost worried. So I stayed where I was, standing quietly in the hallway just around the corner where they couldn't see me. My mom spoke first. Her voice sounded nervous. I don't think we can keep hiding it from her much longer. The moment I heard that, my heart started beating faster. Hiding what? Then my dad sighed deeply. I know, he said. But she's not ready to hear the truth yet. My stomach tightened. They were clearly talking about me. I slowly leaned closer to the wall, trying to hear better. My mom spoke again, this time sounding even more emotional. She deserves to know. We've kept this secret for too many years already. For a moment, I wondered if I misunderstood them. But then my dad said something that made my entire body freeze. If she finds out the way we did, it could destroy her. My mind started racing. What could possibly be so terrible that it would destroy me? I stood there in the dark hallway, barely breathing, listening to every word. My mom continued, her voice quieter now. She's already asking questions. I can see it in her eyes. Sooner or later she's going to start putting things together. There was a long silence. Then my dad replied slowly, I know, but we promised we would protect her. Protect me from what? At that moment I felt a strange mix of fear and confusion. All my life I believed my parents were honest with me about everything. We've always been close. Or at least, that's what I thought. But hearing them talk like this made it feel like there was a huge part of my life that I didn't know about. Then my mom said something that made my heart drop. Maybe it's time we finally tell her the truth about where she really came from. For a moment I felt like the ground disappeared under my feet. Where I really came from? What does that mean? My mind started filling with questions. Was I adopted? Was there something about my past that they never told me? Before I could hear anything else, my foot accidentally pressed down on a loose floorboard in the hallway. It made a small cracking sound. The conversation in the living room stopped immediately. My dad's voice suddenly became alert. Did you hear that? My heart started pounding. I quickly walked into the kitchen pretending I had just come out of my room to get something. A few seconds later my parents appeared in the doorway. They both looked at me in a strange way, almost like they were trying to read my face. My mom forced a small smile. Oh, you're awake. I nodded and grabbed my phone from the counter. For a moment none of us said anything. The silence in the room felt heavy and uncomfortable. I wanted to ask them what they were talking about. I wanted to ask what secret they had been hiding from me all these years. But the words just wouldn't come out. So I just walked back to my room like everything was normal. But now I can't stop thinking about what I heard. What truth are they hiding from me? And what exactly did my mom mean when she said, where she really came from? The sound was coming from somewhere inside the living room. I stood up and tried to follow the sound. After a few seconds I realized it was coming from under the couch. That immediately felt strange. My husband's phone was already charging in the bedroom. So whose phone could be under the couch? Curious and a little nervous, I bent down and reached underneath. My fingers touched something cold and rectangular. It was a phone. I slowly pulled it out and looked at it. It definitely wasn't mine, and I had never seen it before. As soon as I picked it up, the screen lit up with a message notification. And that's when my heart dropped. The message said, "Why didn't you reply tonight? Is she with you?" For a moment I just stared at the screen, trying to understand what I was reading. My mind immediately started searching for a logical explanation. Maybe a friend left their phone here earlier. Maybe my husband found it somewhere. But then I noticed the lock screen photo. It was my husband. Just him, standing in front of a mirror taking a selfie. My hands started shaking. If this phone belonged to him, why had I never seen it?